So the time has come. I'm going to arrange my flowers on the cake, and I have this cake in front of me. So this is all dummy cakes because it's a photo style photo shoot, and I have a very limited time to make it. So I'm arranging my flowers on a cake, and not just flowers, all the decorations. And the first thing I'm going to start is with flexing my flowers and arrangement. So everything, when I make things, especially for leaves and for foliage, I usually make them relatively flat, so like that, and I place them in a storage in the same flat manner. And when I need to arrange them, what I do is I usually look for like a first place where the first connection is, and I bend it over one way, then another way, and usually I just bend where all the connection points are, like that. For my plants, I wanted them to go down this way, and for the leaves to go up and a little bit over the branch. So this is going to be first side, and this will be the second side for the same branch. And based on how it grows, so like how it develops, like plants are heavy, so I want them to go down a little bit. This probably is the one that will go on the left side, like that. So I'm going to bend them over, but here I can tell that this one will go on the left side, and then I can play with my leaves and I can assemble my leaves, like arrange my leaves on the cake itself. So this is one of the pieces, and I wanted to start with my longer pieces, so at least I can understand where it's going to go in terms of directions. And for these leaves, these are sugar leaves, sugar paste fondant leaves made out of the same fondant I used for the cake. And for the most part, especially if I'm short on time and short on budget, because this is for style photo shoot, so all of that is my own expense. But it's a nice thing to practice and do different techniques and like basically do whatever you wanted to do. And these are, that's why I'm reusing fondant as much as I can. But this part, like this plum branch, is very heavy, and I wanted that to go downwards. So when I'm going to stretch it or bend it over, I will keep it in mind that I wanted that to go down. Like here, my beautiful sugar plums. They also made out of fondant with a little bit more fancy foliage, and foliage made out of wafer paper. But I wanted to see the direction first before I will place it on my cake. So these are beautiful plums. And I was watching Formula One today and taping everything together. So now when I'm going to look at this cake, I will remember that for a long period of time. These are, the plums should go like down, down. If you have any concerns, like you don't know how to assemble things, look on the internet where things, the way they grow for plums or heavier things, heavier fruits. If you use berries, usually they go down because of the weight. But for me, I like making my leaves combination of sugar and wafer paper just because it's so much fun and it's so much lighter, and this branch is very heavy on its own. So probably this thing is going to be my main focus on this side, like that. And I think I wanted that branch to go downward right here, so I will bend it somewhere, maybe this side, and then I can place them the way I wanted them, because they should hang like downwards. All of them should hang down, all the plants should hang downwards. So something like that. Let's see if it's going to go on the cake. And for me, when I make cakes, we'll see whether I want it to go this way or that way. When I make cakes with a larger arrangement, like this one, usually for the top tier, I always use a dummy cake, dummy like styrofoam tier, even if it's going to be a real cake, just because for something like this it's very heavy, so I don't want it to destroy my cake, and I would rather have a real cake with a dummy tier on top, just to make sure that it can sustain the weight of that flower arrangement or the thing. So let's see if I like it to go this way. I probably would prefer that to go that way. So maybe this one will go up and then the branch will go somewhere in here. So we'll start with this one, bend it over, and I will use an awl to poke a hole in the middle to see whether it's wanted to sit straight or if I need any extra support like that. Okay, so kind of like this branch going this way first, or maybe I wanted that to be a touch closer, so I'll bend it over again and push down even harder. Okay, so now it's not going anywhere, and I will play with my plums and place them around a little bit later. It doesn't matter. It's not the most important thing at the moment. The other part, I always prefer to go on the other direction, but first I will play with my leaves. So I wanted to give this more dimension with the leaves and arrange them on the top as well. So see, I take all my parts, all my wires, and I bend them different directions where the leaf or a branch and the leaf connects, like that. So basically I'm just creating this kind of like broken pattern in a way, and something maybe like that. So this is kind of like me sketching things going different directions, maybe like that. And I want this arrangement to be relatively large in size, so I'm leaving enough space for my flowers to sit right here. And this branch is the longest, so I'll bend it over all over the same way, everywhere where I have place to connect. When you do that for a long period of time, or you do this relatively often, it becomes a no-brainer, so I don't think much, I just do things like bend them. And for branches, I prefer my corners to be sharper than just like so nice fluctuating corners, something like that. Let's see if this will work. Somewhere in here. Okay, do I like it? Do I not like it? Maybe this will go down there, like that. A bit down, and I want another branch to go down here. So I will bring it down this way, like that, to give this different dimension. And my plum branch might go in front or in the back, maybe in the front, right here, like that. So using dummy tiers or dummy cakes, especially for the top part, gives me this opportunity to assemble my branches the way I wanted to, and if I have to, I can take them out and then place them in a different direction. So what are you thinking? Give me a comment. If you're watching this live, let me know what you think. I will try to look through the comments as much as I can, but this is just a kind of like a sketch, kind of like a decision-making process. But for me, I create my frame first, and then I look at the picture. So this is the front of the cake, like that, maybe a little bit lower. So for this branch, I don't want this branch to move that much, so we'll take a piece of floral wire, maybe another piece of 20 gauge wire or something heavier to anchor that. Sometimes I use just like a cheap wire when I need to assemble, make longer branches. and I will create kind of like a pin, this shaped pin metallic thing, to press it here and fix my branch in the same spot right here, so it's not going to move on the image like that. Okay, I might play around with this a little bit more after it's done. Okay, so next step, I'll take my foliage. I like this little thing. Let's place it too. These are blackberries, tiny little blackberries with a few leaves. And for this cake, because it's for a style photo shoot, it's very last minute. I didn't have much time to just play around with different things, and I'm reusing a lot of the things I have or I made. I had these beers, so I just assembled them with the foliage I had, and maybe it will go closer to the back to give this more height and visual interest. Then bend my branch much like that. Something go in this direction, like this. Okay. Do I like it? Do I not like it? We'll see. Sometimes I just walk around and look at my cake and see if I like it or I wanted to move it in a different direction. Okay. Maybe this will go down like that. And now I have my dahlias on lawn stems as well, but I wanted to place my eucalyptus, because eucalyptus will give me the base for all the different textures to give me like this luscious foliage. Same placement again, and a little bit down, maybe on the back, like that. Same with another one. So I'm creating my base for my flowers to sit on. And eucalyptus I also had in storage. I used it already. This is sugar made out of gum paste, and this is using sugar flowers or sugar foliage will make my cake very heavy. I know that, but that's what I have here, and I'm going to use as much as I can. Here, another thing. Okay. So now I have a little bit more visual interest for my flowers to go on, and another thing, maybe on the back. Let's give it life right here. Okay, like that. Because for making arrangements like this, I prefer to use as much as I can and use different textures. So these branches, also made out of Wafer paper, they will go last because they will be like my accent pieces. So I can set them on the side for now. The little friends are okay. Let's place one long one on the back. Which way? This way. Let's do it this way. Like that. So now I'm creating my shape and giving it even more dimension in terms of placement. Let me take a look from the back and place all my wires down, because again, I would have to travel with this cake, so I need to make sure that all my wires are secured properly. Same with a few pieces on the back, right here, like that. Okay, and my eucalyptus has to move this way as well. And for my flowers, I have dahlias, I have roses, and I have anemones. But basically, this is the part where I can see it's taking a shape. So they should go here. And for my eucalyptus, this looks like a base for my cake. And now I will place even more flowers here. You should go here. Now the most stressful part. Let's start with our roses. I wanted to use my roses from my Wafer Paper Academy, and I wanted to place them on the front where okay. So my favorite flowers will be on the front, and I have a few of them, and I will give them different placement here. Another one will go here, or maybe on the side, right here. Which one is that? Who is there? Okay, this one. You have to come back. Okay, this is better, and then this one right here. Okay, roses are in, and now I'm going to look at my arrangement in terms of heights. So here is not enough height, and I can see that I need to cover space in here, and maybe on the back I will probably take my dahlias. I have a few dahlias on the longer stems, and I will cover all of the spots where I don't want to see a lot of space. So these dahlias are made to be on the longer stems here on the back. That to give me like a little bit more shape, interest. Another one, I'll cut it shorter to go here. I want this to be out a little bit like that. I'm trying to place my flowers on a different dimensions, and I have these ones are going to be my little flowers to take a lot of visual interest. Okay, right here. What are we thinking? Is it coming together? I think that I need more pink anemones, and I will put another dahlia on top to give it even more dimension, because I don't like how close they are to each other. So I want this to be a little bit more dimensional from all angles. So I probably will pull a few flowers up and down just to give it more life, like that. And here this way. This turn towards me, and more these ones. So I will try to place it as close to the cake as possible on the front. And maybe not like long stem in here. And a few on the back, like that, just to give it fullness and color. Okay, I think it looks very nice. What do you think? If you like this arrangement and you're watching a replay, leave me a comment and I will continue playing with that, but basically this is how it's going to look like. Maybe I will add a few more flowers, but this is my arrangement so far. So thank you so much for joining me today and listening to me rambling about my creative process and how to arrange flowers. And I like it, so I'm looking at that, and I will be probably just walking around looking at this cake and thinking, what else can I do to that? And now you know how I arrange flowers on a cake. So thank you so much for watching. If you're watching the replay, leave me a comment. I will save this and I will reply to your comments. And thank you so much for joining me tonight. Have a wonderful Saturday or whatever time you're watching that. So, bye bye.